Well, if Max Holloway isn't the greatest featherweight of all time, I really don't know who is. Hey everyone, TripleRousey here. Hope everyone's doing well, and welcome to a new series called UFC The Aftermath, where we look at the pay-per-views and Fox specials and basically have a look and see how everyone did. Meanwhile, you can basically stare in the background at my rise to welterweight, even though I'm definitely not a welterweight and I'm definitely not 18, on a seriously dated game. Alright, so UFC 231 is in the books, and we're going to have a look at the co-main event and the main event with special honourable mentions to basically the majority of the card. Yeah, there were some boring ones, some disappointing efforts, but you know, overall there were some like really good like contests. I mean, Jimmy Manua versus Thiago Santos, they just went in, like zero technique, like they just hit each other, like that was mad. Anyway, and Gunnar Nelson basically disfiguring poor Alex Oliveira. I think he had like 22 stitches. Yeah, that was grim. Anyway, let's get to the co-main event. So, Valentina Shevchenko versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk. We're going to call her Joanna, and like, I'm actually a fan of hers and I can't even pronounce her surname. How contradictory is that? Anyway, this was for the vacant flyweight championship. I believe Joanna actually moved up a weight to take on Valentina. A lot of history here. So basically, these guys have fought before in Muay Thai, and they fought 3 times, and Valentina won 3 times. And it was heavily expected that Shevchenko, or Bullet should we say, was basically the heavy favourite going into this. This was going to be more or less her weight group to basically conquer, and it more or less, yeah, that was basically what happened. A lot of people are saying it's a dominant display. I wouldn't say it was a dominant display. I think it showed a lot of holes in Joanna's game. Very, very good at stand up. I mean, like, she was the boogie woman, you know. I mean, she was strawweight champion before she got dethroned by obviously Namajunas, and her ground game is like next to nothing. Like, she put up a good account of herself standing, but even then, I mean, Shevchenko is just something else. Like, just she's so well rounded. You saw judo, you saw some wrestling with her grappling, you saw her stand up, which was brilliant, and yeah, her passes on the ground were amazing. But this poses 2 problems really. The 2 problems being, well, I can't think of anybody that could seriously challenge Shevchenko for her title. She's going to be dominant for a long while in that division. I mean, I think Jessica I could possibly be in for a chance. She got a split decision in the prelims, but I can't see that happening. I can't see Jessica I winning against Shevchenko, against someone who's so well rounded. And Joanna, well, that poses a problem. I mean, is she too small for flyweight? Should she go back to strawweight? You know, the division's pretty stacked at the moment. You know, you've got, you know, now we've got an actual champion. I think it was Nico Montano or something like that, and she couldn't basically fight Shevchenko. So maybe that's the next fight. But for Joanna, I mean, if she stays in flyweight, then she has to work on other areas of her game. Like, she was exploited. Like, yep, she's decent and stand up, but if it goes to ground, I can't see her really on the offensive on the ground. She can get up from it really well. She escaped pretty well a few times, but I can't see her. She needs to work on that. If she goes down back to strawweight, you know, she's lost to Rose Namajunas twice now, and she is down in the pecking order. I can't see the UFC giving her another go. Like, it's not even a rubber match, she's 2 down, you know. I can't see that happening either. So overall, Shevchenko, dominant display. Probably is going to run that flyweight division for a while. And as for Joanna, well, yep, she's not out of it yet. She's not out of contention, but she really does have to work her way back out. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. She's a good fighter, so we'll see. We'll see. Right, let's just get to the point. Let's get to the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Blessed Era. Right, just a backstory about this. So, Holloway was originally going to defend his title against Brian Ortega, and for some reason, like, I think it was a week before the fight, I might be wrong, he had concussion-like symptoms, and that came down to they say in radical weight loss. Like, I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and one of the things he heard was that he tried to cut weight or gain weight for the Khabib fight as a late notice replacement. The commission said no, that's not happening, and then he tried to radically do it again, and the body rejected it. So that fight was scrapped. We finally got to obviously last night. There was a lot of things going, even up until the weight class, saying, oh, is Holloway going to make it? He was under intense scrutiny about his health, and you know, he's going against someone like Brian Ortega, who, if we're looking at the division itself, Ortega's really the only person who could have really challenged Holloway. So we've got to the fight, and I'm just going to cut straight to the point. Max Holloway is by far the best heavyweight the best featherweight ever. He's the best featherweight in UFC ever. I mean, you can say, you know, your Jose Aldo's, like, obviously in his era, but he absolutely just made an example out of Ortega. It reached the 4th round stoppage, like a doctor stoppage. I mean, that he couldn't have gone the 5th round. I mean, the 2nd round impressed me. The 3rd round, yeah, he just looked so confident. Like, from the moment he entered the octagon, like, I think he knew what it was about. And that's not to take away from Ortega. Ortega, man, is just one tough dude, and there is no doubt you're going to see them two fight. That could be for many years to come a serious rivalry, because you've got to look at this. They're both very, very talented. I mean, Ortega knocked out Frankie Edgar, and Holloway has basically took out everyone. I believe it is it 12 straight wins. My evidence might be wrong, but just everything about him. I mean, the last loss he had was to Conor McGregor on a decision, and keep in mind he's 27 years old, and that was 5 years ago. And now I really don't think Conor McGregor would want any of Max Holloway. Like, really, like that 4th round, I think he sets the record for the most significant strikes landed in a title match from last night, and I think he actually holds the record for the most amount of strikes landed in a single round. Like, I had a look at round 4, and I think, I could be wrong, when I was looking at it, it was 137 shots, and he was just pinging shots off at Ortega. Like, from every time Ortega hit 1, like, Holloway would hit 3. It is truly the blessed era. So, you know, and then the question was, there's no one else for him to fight in the featherweight, but he wants to take people out in the featherweight division. So, man, what a dominant display. I don't know who you'd want. I mean, Conor McGregor seems really, really good, and I think maybe he has a few losses he needs to avenge, and they're in the lightweight division. He does have power. He does now boss the featherweight division. McGregor's more like he will go wherever he wants, to be fair. But yeah, let's see. I mean, as for Ortega, let's be real. They're both 27. Ortega has that's probably his first real title fight. It's his first loss, and you know what? The doctor probably did the most important thing for him, save him from any unnecessary beating, and he'll learn from this. This is not the end of Brian Ortega, and this is definitely not his last title shot. So anyway, that is how I feel about it. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you comment with your opinions on how the evening went, and I will see you for the last pay-per-view, which is going to be 232. I can't wait. Have a good time, guys. Take care. Bye bye.